Hi, I'm Scott with ScottGuitar.com. In this session I'm going to teach you your first basic guitar chords. It's going to be major chords and a couple of minors thrown in. But first let me ask you to visit my website at ScottGuitar.com, where I also offer Skype lessons. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and zoom in and get started. Okay, here we are with your first basic guitar chords. The first chord I'm going to teach you is an A chord. Remember, on an A chord, your A string, that's your fifth string, is going to be open. We're going to put our first finger on the D string at the second fret. We're going to call that D2, D string second fret. Middle finger goes to G2, G string second fret, and the third finger goes down to B2. So we've got all of those fingers in one fret. Okay, now first and most important thing I can teach you about chords, if you want to know the truth, play one string at a time. See, a bad note can't hide when you do that. Just take an extra second. If you come across a bad note, stop right there and fix it. Don't play everything again, because the bad note is sitting there waiting for you to play it again. So let's go ahead. Okay, that's your A. We're going to skip B and come back to it. The C chord is your first finger, and please use the same fingers I use in the locations I play them in. First finger goes on B1. Second finger goes on D2. Third finger goes on A3. Your C note is here. We don't use the top string on this chord. Strum down one string at a time from your C note. Had a bad note at the bottom? You hear that? Typically when you take your hand and just push it forward a little bit, you're going to clear up any chord problems you might have. That's a C chord. Your D chord is first finger on G2, second finger on E2, third finger on B3. This is a D chord. Start from your D string, one string at a time. Now once you get that one string at a time, then you can strum it. Now you're starting your ear training. You're putting a good D chord in your ear. E chord, first finger on G1, second finger on A2, third finger on D2. You can strum that from the very top string all the way down. Remember, in an E chord, we're starting with our E string at the top, the low E, the sixth string. Okay, the next chord I'm going to show you is an F. With an F, you take your first finger, pad, and you lay it on the first and second string in the first fret. Then your third finger goes on G2, your third finger goes on D3. Now this chord is going to be tough, especially in the beginning. What I recommend you do is just start here. Now, you see this knuckle sticking up right here? That means there's a string underneath not being pressed. So what I want you to do is raise your back knuckle, and that'll make that front knuckle go away. Now you have leverage to come down and play two strings on the hardest fret on the guitar. Why is that the hardest? Well, it's right next to this nut. That's the white thing right there. And the nut doesn't give it all. So what you want to do is get as far away from that nut and that fret as you can. Now once you play this, you can get that with your first finger flat on the top. Take your middle finger and go to the next string, G2. Add that one. Once you get that, Then add your third finger. Okay, and F is a tough chord to get, believe me, I know. It's one of my tough ones in the beginning. I remember it just like it was yesterday. But here's the key. Work on that F chord for a minute or two and then move on. If you don't, you may be kicking the dog after a while, and that's not going to be cool. So work on it. It's a necessary evil. It's one of those chords that's going to pop up in a song that you really want to play, and if you haven't given it any time, you're going to have to go back and do it anyway. Okay, so that's your F chord. Your G chord, middle finger, second finger on E3, first finger on A2, third finger all the way at the bottom on E3. Start at the top, that's a G note, and that's a G chord. In a lot of Americana type music, sitting around a campfire, country music, that G is very popular. Now I want to give you an alternate on the G. Take your third finger up one string, put your little finger on the E string at the bottom. That's a fuller sounding G. Sounds closer to a 12 string, and it's what we call the Eagles G. When they came out with their original hit, Take It Easy, this is the G they used. So I'm going to give you that option. You can use one finger here at the bottom, or take it up a string and put your little finger there. Okay, now the B I mentioned earlier. Typically in the beginning you use what's called a B7. Let me show you how to make that and how it's easy to remember. Go to your E chord, that's G1, A2, D2. Now what I want you to do is take your first finger up one string, take your third finger down one string, take your little finger all the way down to the bottom on the E string. That's known as a B7. To get there, again, make an E chord, first finger up one string, third finger down one string, little finger all the way down to the bottom in the same fret. That's your B7. You can use that in the beginning. Later on, when you get into bar chords, you can use another style B, but these will get you started. Now there's a couple of more I want to show you. The first one is going to be, well, they're minors, and you need minors in all your music. What I want to show you here is to go to an E chord. We're going to learn an E minor. There's your E chord. Now, lift your first finger. That's it. That's an E minor. First finger down on G1 is an E major. First finger up is an E minor. You notice that minor has a mysterious sound or sad sound to it. That's what a minor nature is. It's going to be a mysterious, like the storm clouds are rolling in. We don't know what's going to happen. Put your first finger down to a major. It's like the sun came out from behind the storm clouds. It's a happy chord. Your major is a happy chord. Your minor is a sad or mysterious chord. So there's your E minor. Now go back to your E chord. I want you to take this shape, take everything down one string. That's an A minor. Your first finger on B1, second finger on D2, third finger on G2. You strum down from your A string. So what did we just pick up there? An A minor and an E are exactly the same hand shape. E is at the top, A minor is one string below. E minor, A minor. Now the next one I want to show you is a D minor. First finger on E1, second finger on G2, third finger on B3. Strum down from the D string. notice these two notes here are the same two notes in the D chord. We're just taking this note back one fret. So you got your D and your D minor. So I'll run through them, starting with the A. A chord, B7, C, D, E, F, G, E minor, A minor, D minor. And those are the chords that are going to get you started. Be sure to practice going to those chords in one move. That's your biggest goal. For example, going from a G to a D, don't go for the strings because we all build in the beginning. Your goal is to go there in one move. So my suggestion is to practice this. Learn what the shape is. Make the shape on your guitar and just hold it out. Show yourself what shape you need to make in midair. Get to know that shape. So when you go from a G to a D in practice, go for the shape. Don't go for the strings. When you get the shape down, then set it down. And remember, the biggest thing I can tell you about this is to go slow. You want to get there fast? Slow down now. Give your brain and your hand a chance. Practice going for the shape. That's going to make you a good guitar player. Well, I hope you enjoyed this session. And if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and visit my website at scottguitar.com, where I also offer Skype lessons. Feel free to shoot me an email if you got any questions, any concerns about this stuff, and I'll be glad to try to help you. So until the next time, take care.